Welcome back, Trinity people. We're getting you ready to meditate with us on Wednesday nights. This week, we're meditating on the very important energy of sharing. I, as I usually do, went back and looked at some of our previous videos on this topic, and the point that I made in those is still valid. Sharing is not just something that happens with nice people who willingly agree and sign a contract saying, "I will share with you." That's the thing we have to get past. And that's, once again, why I love drawing my inspiration and my examples from my martial arts history. Because in a martial arts situation, you are starting with the assumption that this person in front of you is your opponent. They are not your friend. It's not about finding somebody who will agree to do things your way. That's not sharing. Sharing is going on all the time. It's just a question of what is being shared. So I have a very, very simple little exercise that you can do whenever you're out and about that I think will help you with this concept of sharing. This comes from my very first martial art, which was a Japanese style of Tai-Do. It's not really specific to a particular art. This just came from the teacher, Mitsuchida, and he taught me about the power of the eyes. I was down in the little park in the center of my town that I live in, and people were getting ready for the 4th of July festival not too long ago. And there was a bunch of people unloading equipment. They had a big flatbed truck they were backing up. A lot of workers that had been hired for the day to move all this stuff around. One of these guys was really sketchy looking, and he kept giving me the side eye, like he's keeping track of me. And I'm just sitting there trying to enjoy the park, and this guy's kind of roaming around, and in my peripheral vision, I see him eyeing me all the time. And if that doesn't make you nervous, it should. It should. You should have enough awareness when you go outside that somebody casing you, it should set off some alarm bells. Mitsuchida always taught me that when you see something like that, you make some eye contact. Now, I'm not talking about getting into a staring match with the guy. That's not going to help anything. But I looked and I made sure that he was looking, and I looked at him and I gave a little head nod, just to let him know, I see you, I know what's going on. Does this diffuse any intentions he have? Maybe not, but it lets him know that I know. I know that you know that I know that you know, sort of thing. It erases the possibility of a sucker punch from behind. It puts in his mind the idea that I now have a description of him in my head. I could tell the police what he looked like. I have let him know that I am aware of his presence. So we are now sharing the energy of awareness. He knows, I know. He's not my friend. We're not buddies. We haven't had a discussion. We haven't signed any contracts, but we are sharing an energy of awareness. And that's all it takes to have sharing. You just have to know what energy both of you are in. Very simple. So practice it when you go out. If there's anything or anyone that kind of making you a little uncomfortable, kind of little hairs on the back of your neck going up, make some eye contact with that person and just give them a little nod, just a little, okay, you, got it, yeah. Don't just keep going back and staring at them. That's going to incite some sort of conflict. But anywhere you are, look around, and anything or any person that seems a little out of place to you, stare at it and give it a little nod, just to register in your head, got that one, got that one, got that one. Made a note of that, made a note of that. It's a wonderful thing that A, lets them know that you know, but B, tells your subconscious, I am noticing things, and I'm cataloging those, and those are part of my awareness now. Wonderful self-defense technique that you can employ anywhere and all the time, courtesy of Mitsuchida. However, don't start thinking that it's always going to be about awareness. In that example I was showing you, we were sharing awareness. But you could share something with just about anybody, and they're always trying to tell you what it is if you're open to it. I was working at the Macy's department store way back when, when this guy came in and he had this bag of stuff. It's obvious he wants to make a return. Being the efficient salesperson that I am, as he's approaching the counter, I'm typing in my number into the register, getting ready, pulling out the return form that has to be filled out, getting a little bag out so that I can put his stuff in it and seal it up and put it behind the counter. I'm ready to go. And he comes up and he says, "Now this may take a while." And I realized we are not going to be sharing efficiency here. He's telling me right now that he's going to go through his whole spiel. He is not to be deterred. He is not just going to fit into the little cattle chute that I've designed that will guide him through the return process. He wants to tell me his story. He's bringing me some thoroughness. Okay, instead of fighting that, I do one of these. Just gave him the nod. Looked right at him, gave him the nod. And he started into his spiel. I let him have his thoroughness, but I joined by bringing my efficiency to meet that thoroughness. While he's talking, I can tell right away that this is going to be something I have no authority over. He has a long drawn-out story, and it's going to have to be decided by the women up in the accounting department. So, while he's talking, I reach under the counter. I get my little map of the store, and as soon as he's finished, I say, "I think you've got a legitimate return case there, sir, but I can't decide that. The women in the accounting department will have to make that call. Here's a store map. They're located right here in the left corner on the 3rd floor." I gave him the map, and he was off. My efficiency and his thoroughness had joined, but only because I knew the space that we were sharing. And if you give somebody your focus and acknowledge, with a little head nod, what's going on, it'll be apparent to you. Everybody's trying to share. This is what I want to bring to this space. This is what I want to bring to this space. They'll tell you, this may take a while. All right, they're telling me about thoroughness. They'll give you the evil eye, meaning, okay, awareness. Whatever it is, they're telling you all the time. You're sharing a space, you just don't know it. And that's all this exercise does. It helps you know what sharing is going on so that you can participate. If you think this stuff's cool, you should stay tuned for more Trinity.